Hello Drone Racers, I'm Mark, and today on Drone Racer 101 we're going to crack this thing open like an egg. This is the FrSky X-Lite. I have a number of videos on the channel, you can see them all up there, and I've gotten to the point where I need to open it up. There's several things I want to do on the inside of this, one of which I've already done, so I've practiced this. So before I show you what to do inside, I need to show you how I opened it. Unlike the other Taranis radios, it's not an easy process, unfortunately. Now there are a couple different versions of this radio, so I have the first version here. I'll try and explain the differences as I understand them. So a couple things you want to do. You want to make sure you take out the batteries before you do this, just to get them out of the way. You also don't want to accidentally supply power to anything. You want to take out the SD card so it doesn't get stuck and you don't end up breaking it in half. That would suck. Now I took my R9M light module off of the back of it. I didn't want any of that out in the way. And then also I recommend that you remove the pads here. This one's a little tough to get sometimes. You might have to use an X-Acto or a screwdriver in order to get this one out. That's what I've had to do. Go, just slide that in there, give it a little pressure and pull out. There we go. So then I recommend relieving the pressure off of these screws. If you're using them on whichever side you're using them on. It's not a big deal when you're taking it apart, but when you put it back together, it makes it easier to get everything all lined up, and you can always readjust if you need to. You don't have to remove them completely, but you do want to loosen them. Also, so then if you have a newer model than I do, you may have screws here and here which help hold this together. You're going to want to remove those because those are just extra screws that help hold everything in place. So there, that's the easy part. Now I'm not extremely worried about the aesthetics of mine, so here I'm just going to use a pair of flat bladed screwdrivers, and I'm going to try and do this on camera, but as usual the camera's here and I'm over here and it's going to be a weird angle. So what I found worked best, I tried a couple things on here and it took me a while to get it open the first time, but once I did, it wasn't too bad. So I found it's easiest to loosen this inside part first, and there, after I've done it the first time, there it pops open pretty easy. If you slide between the gray and then the red or the black right here and then twist a little bit, that will go in there and that will pop this bottom piece loose. So I think I've got it loose all the way there. Now I will say I have actually broken some of the connectors on this. There we go. Yeah, that is loose. On the inside that hold it together, getting this open, I just don't know of any other way to do it. Now I then found, secondly, it's easiest to go in from the top to loosen this outside. I couldn't get it from the bottom here, so I found if I go in from the top, it's actually pretty easy. So there's a pin right there, so I'm going to go right below it and twist here and slide it in right there, and I can get it to pop. So it doesn't go all the way, so I take my second one here then and put it in down lower and then pop that. So I just kind of slide it down a little bit and it popped that whole side. So there, it's popped out the outside here. Do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Helps to go in from that angle and then twist a little bit, and they're popped. And in this case, because I've done it a couple times, it popped the whole thing. And then the whole back piece will just come off, and we have access to the insides. Now once you're here, I recommend you don't set it down on its face because I hate to run against the gimbals here. So I just put the gimbal protectors on. They stay on here pretty nicely. You can even take a little blue tack and hold it on if you want to, but for the most part, after I was working on it, then I was able to set it here and set it down and not have to worry about it. It held everything nicely in place. So at the moment, I know of 3 different things that I'm going to do, and I'm going to make videos for doing this, depending on what you want to do. I'll add links down in the description as those videos come out. First, I have already installed the Bluetooth module inside of here. There's 2 pieces that you need for it. It's about 10 bucks to do. It's kind of a tricky soldering job, so that's going to be a separate video. You have to disassemble this quite a bit more than this to get to that, but it definitely works. I have not tested the full quality and latency and those kind of things yet. I'm still in process of testing that, but that's why I need to get this open so you can see what that looks like. But it definitely works. I don't know why they didn't do it. Second, I'm going to show you how to install momentary switches. So these have optional momentary switches that are available. So if you want to get rid of one of the switches here, you can actually replace it with a momentary switch. So we'll talk about that in a video. And then third, I dropped this. When I did the live stream of the Tyro 99 build and I was trying to take it outside during the live stream, I actually dropped my radio and screwed up one of my gimbals. My stick gimbal, I can't get it to zero out. So we're actually going to go through and figure out what we need to do to fix that because the screws on the back are not working well enough for me. That doesn't cover my issues. But for now, that's going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you find this useful if you've been trying to figure out how to get this dude open. It is not easy, but it's not too bad, and it's easier the second time because you break off parts as you go. but I haven't had any problem getting it to stay together. Once it snapped back together, it's still perfectly solid. So until next time, remember, FrSky, please don't ever do this again. Just put screws on it so we can take these things apart properly, because we're going to do it no matter what.